Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes, back with a 12 by 16 inch canvas today. Used a whole bunch of colors that aren't in the Bob Ross set, so if you, sir, or you, ma'am, want to learn how to paint this painting, do you want to learn how to paint this painting? Because if you do, stick around. You never painted a sunset? I got you. You never painted a cabin before? You're going to learn in this one. And I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to be right back, just like this. It's like magic, right? Today we're going to be using paints from this paint set that I got. It's MagicFly, got these for Christmas. There's 40 different oil paints in here, so I thought we'd try a few different colors that aren't in the Bob Ross set, okay? I have never had so many paints on my palette before, okay? There's a few different colors of green, some burnt umber or dark, Van Dyke brown, burnt sienna. There's some purple in there. The crimson, which looks to be a little bit brighter color than the Bob Ross crimson. The Prussian blue, noir, or the midnight black there. They have the sky blue color. Some titanium white, some bright red, yellow ochre. This is like the mid yellow. I'm assuming it's like Indian yellow. And I even threw some pink in there, okay? So we're going to try to recreate a scene that I have up here. I'm going to show you guys a picture right now. Okay. That photo we're going to try to recreate. I had somebody come on Facebook and ask me for that tutorial. I didn't have one, so we're going to make one on a much smaller version of this. We have a 12 by 16 inch canvas that we're going to work with today, okay? Now, being that it's a smaller canvas, we're going to go with a 1-inch brush and then only use the 2-inch brush a little bit for this one, okay? So we're just going to hop right into it. I know I want some yellow. We got this reflection down into the water, right? It's a nice yellow. It's sort of like Indian yellow. We'll throw some yellow ochre around that. This will kind of mix in. Get some yellow ochre above. Okay, throw that Indian yellow in there. And it'll all kind of blend into this yellowish color. Almost looks like a set of lips right there. Alright, so we'll just kind of blend those around. I know I want to have a little bit of that yellow up in here maybe, so we'll just kind of throw it in there randomly. Got our bright red. Alright, want to have our bright red in here somewhere. Make this kind of a cool shape. I always want to put the red around my yellow, and that way when I go to put the blue up there, they won't mix with the yellow and turn green, alright? So we'll even make it a little bit darker, that bright red. And we'll come to the side. We'll finish the sides, guys, right? Because we always finish the sides. Just going to kind of lightly blend that out. We've kind of left this yellowish area. We've got this area here. We can even throw some red. Shoot, underneath there, around there, all over the place, okay? It's going to be a very bright sky today. And then I think for the painting that we did, which I'm looking at up here, it looks like there's a little bit of Prussian blue right up here in the corner. And of course, we're going to finish the sides. Because we always finish the sides. And then the Prussian blue comes down around here. Maybe it goes up underneath. We'll throw some of that black in there. Get a little bit darker color. Kind of mix them together. Again, we're just trying to leave these spaces. It looks like hard lines right now, but we're going to blend it out. We're going to throw some clouds over it, so don't worry. Okay, why don't we try the sky blue color that they have. Same brush, just on a different corner of the brush, right? And that way we don't have to wash them so often. Ooh, that's a very vibrant blue. It's mixing in with the black a little bit, but you can tell it's a little bit brighter blue than the blue over here. Okay, we're going to finish the whole top of the canvas. Let me put some of that blue down in here. You know what? We should have been matching our colors here. So we're going to wash the brush. We're going to go back into that bright red and put that down underneath here. A little bit on either side. Again, we're going to blend it out, so don't worry. A little bit of the Prussian blue over here. This is all to be covered in land anyway. A little bit of that sky blue over on this side. Okay, we'll get our 2-inch brush out now. Let's finish the sides, guys. Finish the sides. Because you never know if someone's going to buy your painting, or you go to sell it, or someone's like, I just got to have that painting. You want the sides to be finished in case they don't frame it. Right? If they don't plan on framing it, they just want to hang up the canvas itself, You want the sides to be finished, otherwise it's going to look unfinished. Or they'll be sloppy on the sides from where your brush hit it, you know what I mean? So always finish the sides, right? Just like that, bam, got this beautiful, colorful sky. It took us a few minutes. We're gonna go back in with our dry 2-inch brush, okay? And just start in our lighter areas and kind of expand outward, all right? We're gonna blendy, blendy, blendy pants over here. Let me strap this sucker down so it doesn't move on us. Okay, blendy, blendy. Just gonna try to leave this yellowish area in here. Don't wanna blend it too much into the orangey color. All right, blend those areas, blend them, blend them, blend them. And now we're going to go into our darker colors. And once we go into the darker colors, we don't want to come back into the lighter colors or it's going to mud it all up, right? So just very lightly into your darks. Maybe bring a couple down on an angle this way and go back this way. And it just makes it where you can't really tell where the orange and the red kind of stop and where the blue begins, okay? Again, we'll come back over here. Sort of, you can do it like this, right? Just side to side strokes. And blend our water. And kind of turn into this purplish, pinkish water, right? Blend it up like that, side to side across the whole thing. And then bam, we've got a beautifully blended canvas, okay? This side we can take more as kind of a hard line over here. I'm gonna blend that out nice and soft. Okay, I'm going to wash the brush. Get a little bit of our titanium white, and we're just going to go right into the center here with the titanium white. And that's really going to brighten up the center, okay? So now we've got it, you know, this nice bright area, and that's where we're going to throw our sun. You know, again, once you come into your darks, you do not want to come back into your lights. I'm telling you. Now, in order to make our little sun shape, okay, first let's go into that brush. It's nice and hard. Oh my heck. I'm going to go into that yellow ochre color, and we're going to, I've taught you guys this before, how to do it with the Filbert brush, okay? You can use your thumb like Bob Ross does. You can do whatever you want, but I like to use a Filbert brush, okay? We're going to push it in hard and then rotate around all the way around until we come back down. And you make this near perfect circle shape, okay? Then go right into our Indian yellow or our lighter color yellow. Do the exact same thing. Rotate it around. You see how the bristles kind of spread outward, and then when you pull it out, it leaves this, you know, kind of uneven surface. Now we'll go right into our white. We're going to do the same exact thing. Rotate around. Bam. That way we've got different colors in our sun besides just one color. We've got the dark on the outside, a little bit of the Indian yellow, and then whitish. And shoot, there's even a little bit of Indian yellow ring on the inside. And it looks really neat. It looks, you know, kind of like there's depth to it, okay? So we got our sun there. Might as well reflect our sun down into here. And with the reflections, it doesn't have to be as pronounced. We just kind of want it similar, you know what I mean? Against this purple, it kind of really stands out. Okay, we're going to take an old fan brush now and kind of try to recreate those colors in the sky. So, for the lighter color, we're going to go with red in our lighter areas, right? Come across like this, just making a mess. Doesn't really have to blend out. You don't really have to do much with it, okay? Just sort of making a mess. And let's see, we'll take the Prussian blue and the crimson, kind of mix those up, get this kind of purpley color. I'm going to save my purple, the actual purple color, for maybe some flowers or something that we'll do around the bottom, okay? So in this one, we'll take that purpley kind of color and go like that. You can see we've left bits of light from underneath on both sides, okay? Got this big old honking cloud shape up here. Right, came over like that. We might even end up covering this bit of cloud. Right? It seems like it's all might be too low, so let's come up here with the red and we'll do a little bit more, and this one underneath will eventually be covered. We got another bit, maybe let's do that sky blue or the Indian or the Prussian blue, and we'll come up here and just make our messy clouds like we like to do. You guys obviously like coming to my channel and making these dramatic skies like I like to paint, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. Let's take some of that, we'll come down, and again we're leaving areas of the light and the dark, so it's, you know, kind of everything kind of shines through, makes this depth for us. Now we're going to take our 1-inch brush, make sure our canvas doesn't come out of here, and we're just going to go in. First we're going to do our lighter one, right? We're just making these little circles. I'm pushing a little bit hard, making these circles, and you'll have different colors of red, and you know, when we put the white, you'll get this nice depth. And up here, we're going to just make our circles and just get rid of those hard lines that we had laid down. Try not to hit our sun, right? Like this, like that. Again, even when we're blending, we're leaving areas of light around it. Right, so now we've got this wicked kind of sunsetty sky, as I like to call them. Go into our white. Let's just grab a little bit of the two yellows that we have down here, just a little bit. We'll put them on top of this pink cloud with the red. Right, put it in there. Again, I've left space in between. So when I go to, wash this off. When I go to blend these out, right, just very lightly, we're not even blending, we're just disturbing, right? I go to kind of disturb the paint here. You're going to be able to see whites and yellows and reds all throughout that cloud. Okay, a lot of this is going to be covered by our mountains. We got the mountain. The sun is just kind of going to go behind the mountains here. Okay, so without washing the brush, we can go up, and then we'll get some of that reddish, yellowish color that we had, and we can put it on these clouds up here. Okay, we're not really staying on the, and kind of almost cut through the middle of that shadow. Kind of pop up to the edge. Come down around here. Maybe it's lighter on the underside, on this side where the sun rays are kind of hitting it, right? And we're not putting a whole lot of paint on. Let's do another one up here. Just kind of, same kind of erratic shape that we did with that initial shadow, okay? Haven't washed the brush. Come back in, just make these very light circles. And that's going to give you areas of whiter paint, areas of, you know, more where it's kind of mixed in with the shadow color behind it. Depth, right? It's just depth. Don't want to have it all the same color, right? You want to be able to see, and again, we can still see some of that sunset behind these clouds. Even up here, you just want to be very light to the touch. Just want to kind of disturb what it looks like. And that way you'll get these different areas of thickness and lightness in your clouds, okay? See, this bottom one's just not bright enough for us. It's not sticking out like I want it to stick out, okay? So we'll put a little bit of white there, maybe some underneath. And again, we're going to come back in, just very lightly, just disturb what it looks like, leaving some of the color from the shadow underneath. Okay, you know, it's almost like we've got these two clouds that are wrapped around our sun right there in the middle. We're going to take our 2-inch brush, a little bit dry, swipe up, right? What that does is just kind of flatten those thicker bits of paint. We're not going to go over our sun. We're going to skip that bit. Swipe up, swipe up, swipe up, side to side. Very soft, okay? Very soft side to side. Down here you can hear the difference. Pushing real hard, right? You can swipe over that sun. So it's not a perfect circle. Up here, very soft. Like a whisper on the clouds, right? Very soft bits of cloud. We've only used 4 brushes so far, okay? 1-inch, 2-inch, fan brush, Filbert brush. That's all we've used so far, right? Now we're going to get out. I took and cleaned the handle of my knife, so now it looks brand ass new. Alright, we're going to make the mountain shade out of the blue, the black, the crimson, okay? It's gonna look very dark. It's almost gonna look black. Pretty much black is what we want it to look like when we're mixing it up, right? Don't need a whole lot. This canvas is small. You can extend it to a much larger canvas if you wanted to. Or you can do it on a small little 12/16, or you can even go smaller if you wanted to. Okay, but we're gonna try to match that painting right there. So for that painting, why don't we have our mountains kind of come up. Maybe they're a little higher on this side. All right, not real points to it, but these rounded tops, okay? And down in here, it's gonna come right over that cloud. Like the sun is just gonna disappear behind these little mountains, okay? Right up under there, but you've noticed we've left some of that pink. It's not just straight up into the white. We'll leave some of that pink in there. And maybe this guy's an odd shape over here. We're just gonna scrape off all this extra paint, okay, that we've left on there. Scrape it all off. You almost have enough to do a whole nother bit of mountain if you wanted to. We're going to take our 1/8 brush and just grab it and lightly just blend it out, pull it out to the side. And you can see, you know, where you're almost laying down your mountains beforehand, right? We've got this one that's kind of tucked back behind this one. This guy comes down here. Come down there, come down there. Maybe this guy comes in front. And this will tell you where to put your highlights and your shadows when you're doing your mountain. Okay, it doesn't have to look exactly like my mountain does. Yeah, and we got this nice little softness down around the base of our mountain, okay? Now, what we can do is flip this sucker upside down. And we can redo those mountains, okay? But they're not going to be as pronounced. You don't want them as dark. We're going to end up going over a lot of them. So just kind of look at the way it is. Right, maybe this guy came down. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect shape. Get another little hump up here. Come down, and I don't want to really go over our sun too much. All right, so maybe this side, got our sun there, up this side. Again, scrape off all that extra paint. All right, this guy comes up again. That's so little amount of paint on here, I don't want to use a whole lot. All right, got him over there. I got this other bit that comes up, and then it kind of goes off to the side. Okay, it doesn't have to be an exact thing. A lot of these reflections are going to get covered, but the ones that aren't covered, you kind of want to, you know, have them look similar. So now we can take these and just kind of blend them out the same way. Try to leave a bit of that color in between, right? It's going to be hard because it's small canvas. We're going to try to leave a bit of that color in between. We went this way, all right, then we came down. We're going to try to leave this thinnest little bit of line in between the two sections of the mountain, okay? Thinnest little bit. And then we're going to swipe over all this anyway, so you want it to be pretty blended out. You don't want to have any hard lines up here, okay? That's why we put so little amount of paint on. And if we can keep these two sections with a bit of color in between, you did a great job. And even if you swipe over it a little bit, you'll still get that color. Now we have almost a perfect reflection of what it looked like. We could even blend out that bit of sun, right? Because we didn't put it up high enough. We want it to go right over the edge of the mountain, just like that. Nice quick little circle. Again, you want it to be, and you can even take these and swipe over them sideways, because remember, this is all reflection now. Okay? Now, on the other one, it had white clouds, white on the snow of the mountain. But for this one, I want to make it a bit darker and make it more kind of summertime mountains. So we'll put our white and the two browns together here. Just kind of go in again very lightly with these. You can even scrape most of them off. Right. If our sun's over there, maybe the shadows are on this side. Some darker shadows. But again, for these ones that are in the water, you want to scrape a lot of that stuff off because we don't want it to kind of shine through. These are the ones we're going to focus on when we flip it back over, right? Now what we'll do is take a little bit of that white and just a little bit of that lighter color brown, the burnt sienna or raw umber or whatever the lighter color is. I always forget. And I'm just going to come down and make these little bits just sort of noticeable. Again, we don't want them too textured. You don't even want the snow to really break on the mountain because we're going to take and swipe over them anyway. All right, the sun on this side. Like that. Sun over here. Behind that shadow, maybe we'll put a bit more shadow in there. Again, this all doesn't matter down here because again, we're going to flip it over and focus on these ones down here. Okay, so again, we're just going to slightly swipe these over and just kind of mud them up, right? So you can see there's a little bit of difference in color in there, but we don't need a lot. I'm going to take this sucker, flip it back over again. Come up underneath. There we go. Dropping my dang knife. All right, when you paint with Josh, you're always going to have a little bit on your fingertips if we have to do something like this. Okay, so again, now we can see our sun, all of our light areas are going to be on this half, right? On this half, shadows, shadows, okay? So we'll use the same colors that we made up. Because I like that color, that's a nice color. Then we'll take some of that original mountain mixture that we made and mix it in with our shadowy colors so they're real dark. Okay, and on this side, this is where you want the snow to break, okay? So just be very light with it, hold it, the same angle of your canvas. If your canvas is laying down flat, you need to hold it flat. If it's on a 45, you need to hold it at a 45. And that way, it will break for you, okay? And this side will go this way. Do a test in your mountains where you can slide the snow both ways, right? Got some off the back there. And here you want it nice and textured so it'll break, okay? I'll take some of that reddish, burnt-ish umber, whatever this color is, I totally forgot. And we'll come around. And this is where we want to have it break on our mountain, right? This is when your mountain comes alive, is when you can start putting on your highlight color. And we'll throw a little bit of that in here just to kind of dull it down just a bit. All right, got these nice, thick mountains. Maybe these two come down. There's just a little bit in between there. All right, got a little bit of back here. A little bit of shadow. Just kind of mix them in. Doesn't need to be perfect. A little bit of snow on this side of the mountain. You guys are like, oh, Josh can't paint snow going this way. He only ever paints it going this way, right? Watch me. Watch me work, kid. Right, maybe we got this little valley in between where the sun is actually hitting. And we go here, and it's this way. Grab the last bit of that. We made a perfect amount today. Why not we have this one just come right down in front of that one. Bam, now we've got these wicked shadows from the sun that's kind of casting the shadows onto these mountains. You can come a little bit further over if you wanted to. Does not matter. Bam. Now we have this sort of mirror image reflection of what our first bit of mountains look like, right? Okay. Now we're just going to swipe up very lightly in the direction that we laid the highlights down, right? And all that does is imagine if you're looking at it through a camera, you've got the bottom bit kind of blurry while the top is nice and in focus, right? Blend that out. Notice I didn't go all the way to the side with these mountains because there's going to be these big trees that kind of hang over. Okay, go back and forth. Again, that's why we don't really care about what the bottom looks like when you're highlighting it, because you're going to swipe over it so many times You just want to have those differences in color. Now we're going to come back into our dark color. I've got a little micro size fan brush. You're going to need a small one, okay, on this small size canvas, because maybe we started a little bit too low with our mountains. So in this instance, why don't we start chucking in little bits of forest back here, right? Again, you can do this on a much bigger canvas, and just kind of, expand it, okay? And all we're doing is just taking a little bit of this dark color and making our little heartbeat monitor sort of shape, right? Up and down, up and down. Nice and pointy trees, okay? Again, we're not going to go side to side. Just kind of leave it right there in the middle. And put a little bit of land underneath those guys just by either pushing down or pushing up. Up to you. Whatever you want to do. And we're going to come in with our 2-inch brush. We're going to swipe those up very lightly again, just like we did with our clouds, right? You swipe them up too much, they're going to blend all the way away. Okay, and then we'll come back just with the corner of the brush, top corner of the brush, we're going to make our fog. And again, we're not going to make it straight across in a line. It's going to be, sort of up and down, all right? Swipe over those. And there we go. Take our liquid white just on the edge of the knife, okay? We're going to push it in and just kind of cut ourselves in a line like that. Not scooping anything up, just kind of pushing in. All right, we even got 2 different lines there. You don't want to have a real pronounced water line back there, okay? Throw in a little wave every now and then. Boop, boop. A little wave, pop. Okay, doesn't need to be super pronounced back there. And we're going to take it and just very lightly go over that sucker, and it'll make it even more fine than it already is, right? Just barely want to be able to see the line back there. Okay? If we're trying to make it like the painting from before. So we'll scrape up some more of this kind of tree color paint. Same thing we did the mountains with, same thing we made the trees with. Go into our bigger fan brush here. Just like that, we're going to make some trees a little bit taller than our mountain. Come down, maybe this guy's a little bit even taller. And we're going to come back in and just, I like painting upward facing trees. You can do the downward facing ones if you want to. Totally up to you. Okay, but we're going to come down just about almost to the bottom of our reflections. Okay. Come back on this guy. They don't all have to be the same. It doesn't have to be, symmetrical on both sides. Doesn't have to do anything really. Okay, maybe why don't we just take a couple little bits of bush that live off that side, come down here, and that'll be like our water line, okay? If I remember right, there's a bigger bit of bush back in there too. So we got this whole dark mess kind of sticking up on our canvas. Why don't we do one over here on the side just for the buyer, right? No one's going to see this except for the buyer. And when they look at it, they'll go, you come up and look at it from the side and go, and it'll make them want to turn around and see what's on the front, right? If you're hanging this in your hallway and they walk by, they're going to go, man, what is this? You got blue and pink and this black thing looks sort of like, it's a tree back there, right? And we're going to take some of our liquid white. Mix it maybe some with our titanium white just a little bit. And ooh, this green's like sliding off my palette. Let me grab some of that green since it wants to slide off the palette over there. Don't want to have too much of that liquid white though, it'll be too runny. Right, come back up in here. First let's throw some tree trunks on that bad boy. use the same highlight color that we did with the snow, right? Come in just every so often, put a little tree trunk. And don't put them in the same spots, right? You don't want to see them in the same spot. We'll take our little highlight color on our tree and just start very lightly pushing up and up and up. The further we get down to the bottom, you don't need to see a lot, okay? And since we have so many different greens, why don't we rock and roll this with this lighter color green over here. This is like a super neon green. Ooh, much brighter. Right? Doesn't have to cover everything. You don't need it to cover everything. You know what we might do actually? Put some of that sucker over here on like the brighter sides of our tree, right? You can even take and throw some of the yellow in with the green. Right? But the more and more you mess with it, the more you're going to cover up your shadows and stuff. So don't do too much, okay? Do less. Less is more, all right? Now we've got our bits of shoreline down here, right, which we're going to pull pretty much straight sideways. And the further we get over to this side, we're going to make them longer strokes, right? Over here, nice and short. Over here, longer. Take some of that liquid white again. I like this super bright green color. We mix those two greens together. Let's get a little bit on each side, and then we'll come back in. We'll start along the edge. Again, we don't want to cover up all of our dark in our shadows, right? We want to have some of the dark in there, some of the green in there, okay? Shoot, we can even pop in some bits of grass down underneath these guys. Just like that. And I wanted to try to take a little bit of the pink in the liquid white. Just pop in a couple little pink suckers over here. Not too many. Not too many, but they'll catch your eye for sure. They will pop out at you like crazy. Take our knife, and we'll scratch in some of these guys. Some sticks and twigs, right? Right down here, I didn't cover up all of my trunk of my tree, so I'm just going to put one more right there. That's looking really good. I like that pink color. I'm going to have to use that some more often, I'm thinking. Okay, now we've got our bits of grass and our water line. Why don't we can do a little bit more liquid white and just a little bit of that pink, just because I like that color so much. It's looking nice. I'll come back in here. Just a little bit, kind of scratch in our water line. Wherever it goes. Just like that. We don't even need to bring it off the rest of the canvas, really. Cover over there. Just for the buyer on the sides, right? You want to see the side? Buy the painting. Speaking of which, etsy.com/shop/happylandscapeart. All these paintings are for sale, plus the hats, the t-shirts, the pillows, the phone cases, everything that I have right for sale right there, okay? Almost too pink in here for me. I'll throw a little bit of white. You know what else looks really cool? So if you take a little bit of dark, and you take that line of dark, throw it in there, kind of mix it in. All right, so now we've got this water. It's not real pronounced. And we're kind of growing. Everything always grows on you, so be careful, okay? You're like, shoot, I don't like that, right? We'll just make our shoreline again. Whiz that stuff out there. This time I want to go a little bit of dark. You can always fix your mistakes when you're using liquid white. It's so fine, it just blends into everything. Okay? little bit of pink. Yeah, don't overdo it. Don't worry about it too much, okay? Worry about it too much and it's going to be too perfect, right? You want the water to be messy. Okay, now to look at this other side, what we did was we went right into this kind of darkish mixture, not too much on our palette, right? On our brush anyway, and we just made the shadows of these big old trees over here. All right, think about the shape. Come down. We just wanted it just this dark color. Okay, let some of that pink shine through there in different spots, but just a darker color, okay? Come back with your liner brush and a little bit of paint thinner, just the littlest bit, don't need a lot. And just come in and make these little sticks and trunks. A lot of them will be covered up, so don't stress it too much. Well, we'll just throw some sticks in there. There's one guy that lives back there. Never know. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. And then, again, we'll take our kind of brownish with the white. And let's do both the browns together. Right, we'll make these big old, gigantic tree trunks. And there's 3 of them. And again, some of those branches got covered, some of them didn't, so that's okay. And come down right behind our little cabin over here, okay? And you're like, Josh, what did you do to it? It was looking so good. And we're going to get our paint thinner with that little bit of brown that we used for these. Make a couple little branches coming off of them in different places. Different spots where the branches come out. Right? Don't even need a lot. They're all kind of crisscrossing back and forward from each other, okay? Now, we're going to get that kind of darkish bluish mixture. Alright, just mix up some of that dark and blue and your black, your Prussian blue, and your crimson color. And we'll just start to make the shapes of what these guys are going to look like. Okay, want it to be nice and thick. So every so often, go back, get some more paint. And we'll make the, wherever you put a branch, we'll make these nice little thick bits of our shadow color, right? It goes over that way. Maybe we got one over here, a little branchy branch. Wherever they grow. Okay? Wash all that dark off the brush. Put some of our liquid white up into our green, our little bits of green, right? You can use all different bits of green. And then we'll come back and just start making our little highlights on our branches, right? We don't want to cover everything. Don't want to cover it all. You want to leave some of that shadow in there. And every time you start to get too dark, wash your brush. Come back in and get some more. Otherwise, you'll start to darken up these highlights, okay? Wherever you want to put them, right? It's looking really good, actually. And come out as far as they want. Just because we're using a fan brush, they don't have to be a certain shape. Okay, you can rotate your brush however you want to make them look, and they will come out that way. Maybe this guy planted some palm trees back here. He's living out there so long, he was like, I miss the beach. I want to plant some palm trees, but not with these down here, right? So trees are never a certain, shape or style. There's all sorts of different trees that live out in the forest, okay? Don't worry about it, man. There's a little bit of green come up from the bottom. You don't even see them all. Okay, take those, kind of flub them up. See, again, down here, we didn't even need to mess with that bit of black when we did our reflection, right? It looks really cool, actually. They're a lot thicker in this one than they are in the one that we're trying to copy anyway. Okay, again, we're going to use that dark color as the base to our little cabin, all right? So in this one, we've got our cabin. You can mess around with it until you like it. We're just smushing the color on right now, okay? Not trying to do much. Let's just drop that dark color in there. Got that way, we got this way. A little bit smaller. Let me adjust the shape a little bit. Totally up to you how you want it to look. Alright, we got that, because all we're doing is just putting our normal shape here. And then we're going to take our cabin, the roof, it's going to go that way, right? Off the edge of the canvas. Your roof can come at any angle, any which way you want it to be. Okay, looks like a mess, right? Doesn't look like a cabin at all. We're going to take the bottom, just pull her out right here. Watch this. Pull our cabin, make ourselves a little bit of land down here, right? Like the water's kind of running through. Now we can come back in with our browner colors, right? Throw a little bit of white in there. First, maybe we want to throw some darker brown on the edge here. How'd that purple get in there? It's alright, we can mix the purple in with it. Put some darker brown along the side, okay? We're going to come in with our lighter brown, just come straight down, just like Bob did. We'll make it look like this wood grain in your cabin, alright? You can come down past your line, it's fine. Got this old cabin out there. Okay, bit of that dark. Put right on the edge. And I like to have mine overhang a little bit. You can have yours however you want. I like to have my roof on the side, kind of hanging past it, right? Shoot, we're in the shadow over here, so we can even take some of that dark and just drag her down from the top of our roof, right? So we're in the whole shadow of this thing, and maybe the side of our cabin is right there. Take a bit of that dark. Now we got this little bit of line in there. Okay, I mean you can take and scrape down, make little wood planks, make it look like wood planks of your cabin. And we can even come through here, scratch out a bit of that paint, and just drop in the door, just like that. All right, get some of our little highlight paint there. Just need a little bit, don't need a whole lot. Take this, kind of shape how our cabin is sitting, right? Shape them out like that. I think I had a window in mind, so if you want to have a window, just chop out a little space out of this thick paint. Take your yellow ochre, and get a window. Want to have lines in your window? Drop some lines on that sucker. And you can take the rest of that brown and just sort of clean up whatever part of your window you didn't like, right? Maybe down in here. And then what I like to do is take a little bit of that window color and just kind of reflect it down there. You swipe it away, you'll still have this kind of foggy looking window color back there. Just a shade of it as we get paint all over ourselves somehow. For the bases of our shadows, for our little bushes where we're going to get all these crazy colors in there, I want to just kind of mix these browns together. We're not really going to use the browns much anymore. We can throw some of the green in there. I want to use it all. I might use it in some of the bushes. All right, nice thick glob of paint. And we're going to come down like this, like Bob does, right? This nice glob on the end of the brush. And then we're going to turn the brush over and start popping in these little bushes and stuff. Right, maybe that one lives up a bit higher, all the way in front of the guy's cabin, okay? That's looking real cool, actually. And then we can take and kind of come in and just decide where our land lives, right? Kind of swipe over. Take a bit of that dark and make this guy a little walking path. Okay, right down there. Bit of our white to go over it. Kind of mix them in together. Now we got this little path where you can walk down. Some of that white, the darker brown. Just swipe them on, baby. Okay, now I want to get some of that liquid white. We're just going to choose a color and just pop in a little bush, okay? Nothing too crazy. Right, maybe we got a little pink bush over here. All we're doing is just flip-flopping the colors, okay? Get a little bit of white coming in, kind of bouncing our brush onto there. Maybe this guy lives up here is a little pink or a little green bush at the top. And maybe we got a nice bright red bush, okay? Just like so, kind of hanging off. Got all these different colors in here, all right? Take our knife, scratch in some sticks that are holding up all these bushes. And one of them comes out. Maybe we got some trunks that come out over there. Yeah, it's looking pretty dang good, I'd say. I'm going to go back into that thick, kind of brownish blackish mixture that we made. And throw one who lives up on the side of the cabin over here. And for that one, when we got the purple out, we might as well use it, right? Try this lavendery. Ooh, these lavender flowers over there. Okay, you don't want to cover all the way down. You want to have, some dark underneath there. It gives you this depth, okay? And that's looking really good, actually. Take the last little bit of that pinkish, whitish water line. We'll say there's a bit of water that lives out there. Might have grabbed a bit much. Come back in. Use the small edge of the knife this time. All right, just a little bit of water underneath that bush. It's going to crash up against the side over here. Some different colors in our water. blend those suckers out like that. And shoot, guys, we got a good looking little representation of how we painted it before. I forgot about the little pine tree in there, but it's all good in the hood. You can even take some reeds that are standing up in the water out here, okay? Get some brown. I'm gonna fill in those little scratch marks. All different heights, right? Blend out the bottom of those. Take and throw some of that water line back in there. I like this pink water line. It's pretty friggin' sweet. Right? We've got these little reeds up sticking out of the water. I'm going to take and put some white ones in there if you want it. This guy down a little bit longer. Just work at it till you like it. And just like that, guys. It's about 50 minutes, just about normal for one of my paintings. We've got this wicked little, farmer's little scene down here. And it turned out really, really good. Really good. Yeah, gonna fix our little walkway there. You can even make your walkway a bit more noticeable if we can. Okay, bam, bam. That's all you gotta do. Just keep playing with it until you like the way that it looks. I have a mountain of brushes that I need to go clean up now. So again, I hope you subscribe to my channel. Right there, right? Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/happylandscapeart. Instagram @happylittle-landscapes. Of course, subscribe to my channel and go to etsy.com/shop/happylandscapeart. You can buy this painting. It'll probably be about 70 bucks. They're not expensive. You guys might think that they are expensive. They are not. They're usually about 20 to 30% off the original price. So etsy.com, where is it? etsy.com/shop/happylandscapeart, okay? Go there. You can get literally anything that I offer. Pillows, prints, posters, paintings, hats, shirts, all sorts of stuff. I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. It's got an alien on it. I don't know how well you can see it. But besides that, in less than an hour, we did a really cool little painting, a beautiful sunset sky, and might have taught you something new that you didn't know before. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed painting it. I enjoy when you hang out with me. It's my dream to paint every day and do this stuff on YouTube with you guys, so I need your help. I can only reach so many people. You guys have to reach the rest and bring them to the channel, right? And then we can sit here and paint all day long and be fantastic, right? It's my dream to paint with you every day, okay? So we put out videos twice a week. Hope you guys are watching them. Hope you're enjoying them. Hope you're trying stuff and growing as an artist, right? That's the goal. So I'm going to stop rambling on. We're going to say goodbye. Love you guys, and take care. We'll see you on the next painting. I hate this part. Hey guys. There's 40 different oil paints in here. So I thought, and look at this. Oh. So if you, sir, or you, ma'am, want to paint this painting, I know you do. That's why you're here, right? That's why you clicked on the link. A bunch of different colors that Bob doesn't offer. I'm going to show you what brushes we need, which is about, why do I even do that? Stick around, right? Okay. I think that's enough fooling around for today, don't you?